Hey everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing the Eachine E33W. Now this looks a lot like a Hubsan H501, but of course it's not anything like that. It's a brushed little mini quadcopter with a 0.3 megapixel Wi-Fi FPV cam that records directly to the app. The camera is tiltable. You can tilt it down, so you can adjust it, but since highest rates has quite a bit of pitch, so you really want the camera aiming up as high as you can, unless you're trying to film something like above your house or something. Overall, pretty neat little quadcopter. It flies really nice, so overall I am rather impressed with the way it flies. Now there are several versions of this. Now the box is called a Vanguard, and I hope that shows up. I'll look over here. See, it's raining now, but it's going to let up in a minute, so I hope I can do the test flight. But I wanted to go ahead and get a review. This weather's been so bad that I've not been able to get any kind of reviews in, so I'm just kind of doing an all-in-one review here today rather than a separate table review. But I think we can cover it all here, since I was able to do a test flight with it about a week ago. Anyway, it's called the Vanguard, the new drone it's called, but it's the Eachine E33W, the little yellow sticker here. There's also an Eachine E33C, which is the camera version. It's not Wi-Fi, that's 2 megapixels. Like I said, this one's 0.3. And then there's just a basic Eachine E33 with no camera on it. So that's obviously the cheapest one. But that's just all it is of the box there. Let's go ahead and we'll look at some of the accessories that comes with it. The USB charging cable here is pretty standard. I think it's a micro loci connector that it uses on the battery. The light will go red when you plug it in, and it'll turn off whenever it's charged. I believe that's the way it was. I get those backwards so often. But it takes about a half an hour to charge, so not too bad, because the battery is not really big. It's a 3.7 volts, so 1S LiPo, 380 milliamp hour. I doubt that's going to show up here outside in the glare. Like I said, there's a micro loci connector. But it gets pretty good flight time. I got around 7.5 minutes or so. I had to start and stop a few times, so that time may not be exact, but it was definitely over 7 minutes of flight time with it, with about a 15-second low voltage. I think the lights was blue in the front and red in the back, but I'll confirm that when I turn it on. I don't have all my notes here with me like I typically would. It does have an on and off switch here on the bottom. You can remove this camera if you wanted to just fly it without, like the regular version, and of course that will increase your flight time because you're reducing the weight and you're not powering the camera too. So that's certainly a nice little option. The camera is very easy to remove. It comes with it not on the quad, so you have to attach it, which is really simple, and it has a little plug here, and then of course it just slides on a couple little brackets here, and like I said, there's an on and off switch on it. It does come with some landing gear that I'll show you, but you don't really need it, because as you can see here, and it's kind of hard to do in my hand. My hand's not big. If I can do using both hands, you can. That you don't need it for that camera. You can land and safely have enough clearance for that camera. So I don't really think that landing gear is necessary unless you want to attach like an 808 keychain camera. Or you might be able to put like a Q6 Firefly or a Runcam or a Mobius. I do think it would lift that. I have not tested it, though it would probably be pretty sluggish and you'd get a really short flight time and you'd really strain these brush motors, so I would advise against that. But it could certainly carry an 808 keychain camera. It does come with a full set of prop guards, which I'm not going to use. If you're flying indoors with this, you'd want to, and this is, in my opinion, a little bit big for an indoor flyer, but you could get by with it if you have enough space. Outdoors, these tend to just be good for getting it caught up in a tree if you're close to trees, and then have a hard time getting it back. It comes with, like I said, the landing gear here inside, which, let me take it out because of the glare of the bag's going to make it a little hard to see. But here's the landing gear, and those are just those two little prongs, and there are some screws to use to secure it, and those go here if you do want to give yourself more clearance. I find it's going to be easier to land on these motor pods and these little legs, so I don't see any reason to use these landing gear, like I said, unless you went to a different camera and you needed more clearance. Comes with a full set of spare props, a Phillips screwdriver, and some of the little silver spinners that go on top of the propellers, so that you just secure them into place. Let's see here. I think that's just about it. We covered all those accessories. The controller, we'll go ahead and go over that. It comes with a phone bracket for your phone, and my phone is a, let's hold this up so we can see it. I gotta remember to do that. Is a curved back G4, LG G4, and this holds it nicely, and you can adjust the mount so you can decide if you want it, you know, a little bit forward or a little bit back. And I do like it. It holds my phone, so that's a big bonus on my opinion. It does not have altitude hold, but that's not a big deal for me. If you're a beginner, some do like to have altitude hold, but it's kind of good to not be relying on it and learn without that. The trim buttons on the right here are fully functional. That's your roll trim and your pitch trim. Over here, when you press up, that's to stop recording, or do photo. That's for the C version, so that's not for this version, so this is not relevant. That'd be for the C version, how you start video and take pictures. The left one is your one key return, so if you use that feature. To calibrate the gyros, you go down and to the right until the lights stop flashing. The top right bumper up here is for your 3D flips, which we'll try to remember to do some of those. And the top left here, I'll turn it around so we can see, the top right here, it says 3D flips. The top left are your rates mode. There's 3 different rates. Now this had, the first and second rate, it does increase some pitch. The yaw increases slightly. The third rate, the yaw increases a lot. Now I wouldn't say it's crazy fast yaw, but the interesting thing is these LEDs and these motor pods start to flash in highest rate. And that kind of caught me off guard, because I thought, well, that's some sort of low voltage, but they flash very rapidly, and it doesn't whenever you start to yaw. So when you let off the yaw, it'll stop flashing. So it's like a neat effect I decided to add to it. And it looks really cool at night. I was finding this at night. During the day, these are obviously not easy to see because you know, it's a 1S LiPo. It doesn't have a whole lot of power for LEDs. But at night, this looks really, really cool. And like I said, they flash really rapidly. It's just that when you're spinning around like that and it's flashing, it's a really, really neat effect. But it's going to make it harder for orientation. So I recommend you keep this really close when you do that, so you're not too far out and then you lose orientation and end up losing the quadcopter into a tree or a house or a roof or something. So the app that you use for this, for the FPV viewing, is the Wi-Fi UFO. I'm going to hope that this shows up. It's this pretty standard app. It is used by a lot of manufacturers. And you just press play and you'll come up with that 747 over the runway, whatever it is. And that'll be the FPV view, which I'll have that going here whenever I bind it to the quadcopter and connect to it. Obviously you have to connect to the Wi-Fi on the quadcopter first and then open up the app. But that app is very common. It is seen on a lot of different manufacturers, quadcopters in this toy grade class use that app. So I'm not going to go over it very much. I've gone over it before. If you want to know how to use that app, look at some of my other FPV apps. But it's very basic and self-explanatory, so there's nothing really complicated about it. So I think I covered everything here. Like, so there's not that much with this little quadcopter, but like I said, take off the camera if you want to reduce the weight, and definitely don't worry about that landing gear, because I don't see any reason for it. It's going to be much easier to land it with just on these motor pods, these little plastic motor pods. So overall, it's a really nice flyer, and I like it a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here, and I'm going to put the battery in. Hopefully it stops raining, and we'll take it out for a test flight. So we'll be right back. Okay, it looks like the rain let up just enough that I can get this out for a test flight here. I've got it here on the ground. Hopefully I can tilt down enough so you can see it. I've got it bound with the Wi-Fi UFO app. Let me show you here that the feed is live there. Hopefully that shows up. And it's not terribly laggy. Of course, you know, it's really close. So farther away, it's going to probably be more lag. So there's blue LEDs in the front and it's red in the back. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and calibrate the gyros like I always like to do. It's been a while. The lights will flash and then stop. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll start recording a video. It's going to just record through the Wi-Fi. So it's not going to be high resolution, just going to be a standard resolution video. So should be recording, and let's go ahead and take it up. That's the lowest rate, y'all. Not very fast. I'm going to go up to the second rate. It's a little bit quicker. And there's a third rate. That's where it gets very, very fast. and it is easy to lose your orientation, as you can see there, using some tricks to try to bring it back to me. It's kind of easy to, like I said, lose your orientation flying with it in the highest yaw rate. So I would not recommend that unless you can keep it very close. I should have been a little closer when I did it. It is still sprinkling, so I'm going to back up here. I don't want to get any drops on the lens of my camera. I'll try to show the highest rate here up close. There you can see the yaw. So now I can, and I should have been looking at my FPV screen, but the glare now is making it a little harder to see. It's kind of a bad habit of mine. I am so reliant on looking at the line of sight at times on these Wi-Fi apps. I don't totally trust them, that I should have been looking at my screen and I would have seen, you know, I would have been able to regain orientation a lot easier because you can't see those LEDs very good. Alright, I'm going to take it back to the middle rate, which I like. See the yaw's, you know, just nice on it. It's a nice smooth flyer though. Let's do a few 3D flips. Very nice 3D flips. Let's do another one here. And you see it makes a really rapid beeping sound, lets you know you're in a 3D flip mode. Let's try to do a forward flip. And let's do a backward flip. Bring it back here towards me. So I think the second rate is the best. Any of these ones that had the crazy fast yaw, which this one is close to that, it is just so easy to lose orientation. Now, obviously, like I said, the Wi-Fi does help if you remember to use it, which I say I don't fly by FPV too much with these. There's just so many of these Wi-Fi viewers. There's just so many factors to take into consideration. The lag, limited range, that you know, it's more for staying close like this. And like I said, the video looks pretty good though. I can see some jello wobble in it, which you expect. Doesn't look to be horrible though. And it is relatively calm out today right now, so that does help. You're not fighting in a breeze. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden it just flipped over on me. Let's go ahead and see if we can bind it back up there. There we go. I don't know what happened. Sometimes on these FPV quads you can get that stuff where you can get interference from the you know, just your home Wi-Fi and stuff like that. It can cause them to be a little erratic. This is the first time this one's done anything odd like that. The LEDs were flashing. They're solid now. It does that whenever it crashes. It just tells you it crashed. But I'm not sure why it just did that. That's the first time it's done that to me. So I'm not going to panic about that yet unless it's a continued problem. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording now so that I got the video saved on the camera. I said the flight time I got the other day was over 7 minutes, so I had a good flight time. I was not using the FPV app, but it's going to be transmitted anyway, so it shouldn't have any effect on the flight time. But since I am connected to the Wi-Fi now, you know, I don't know if that would have any factor on it or not, but I don't know why that did that. Always a little irritating when you're doing a review and something unexpected happened, but hey, it gives you an idea of what you're getting, you know. I mean, since it did that to me, that means it could do it to you. But as you can see, it was just that one time so far. And the other day I flew over I was close to 8 minutes, and it did not do that. See, it's got quite a bit of pitch even in the in second rate. It does nose bomb a little bit, but not bad. You can hear those props are decent size, so you can hear those, props. But otherwise, it's a relatively quiet flyer with the exception of the prop noise. And if you add those legs to it, you get more clearance, like I said earlier, but you're going to also reduce that flight time. So you pop that camera off too, and I think, you know, not only will it increase flight time, but you could decrease any chances of any kind of erratic behavior. Because, like I said, these Wi-Fi FPV quads, I'm gonna try to catch it here. You know, they use this Wi-Fi FPV, and this is the same frequency as what the transmitter uses. So not only do you limit your range, but sometimes it can cause a little bit of erratic behavior. You know, it'd be nice if they started to move these to the 5.8 gigahertz Wi-Fi, because most smartphones and tablets now are dual band ready, so they can run off 5.8. Even though 5.8 doesn't have very good penetration of objects out in a clear open space, it should work fine. And you're not going to have any interference with your transmitter at all. So, you know, there's a few of them out now, and I'm hoping we'll see more and more of those. So that would be nice. All right. Well, anyway, I think that pretty much shows what this thing does. Overall, a nice flyer. You know, the FPV seems to be pretty good. Don't have too many complaints except for that odd little crash there that happened to me. Anyway, overall, I do like it. Like I said, all three versions I'll have linked to at Banggood. I think it was in the $30 to $40 range, I would think, for this one. The other ones are probably, at least the basic version is going to be considerably less since there's no camera. But I don't know what to say about that little mishap there where it came down and lost control, but it did take it back off, and it seems pretty rugged, so obviously nothing broke. But I don't like when unexpected stuff like that happens when you've tested it before and it didn't, because then you kind of wonder, why did it do that? You know, is this a bug in this drone that I need to confirm, or just figured as a you know, a one-time glitch or something? So at this point, I'm just going to mention it in my description as a potential glitch that happened, but I can't confirm this as a standard thing. It's going to happen a lot. Like I said, it could have just been the Wi-Fi. Just kind of irritating me, that's all. That's why I'm blabbing on and on about it. So anyway, that should cover it for the Eachine E33W, so stay tuned, and be sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Also check out my Facebook group, RC Drone Reviews. If you aren't a member, make sure that you check that out. No reason not to join that Facebook group. We have a lot of really cool people in there, really knowledgeable people about all kinds of drones, from toy class all the way up to your Phantom 4s and Autel X-Stars and even DJI Inspire. So we cover the whole gambit. A really cool group of guys in there, and we don't do any kind of shady stuff. There's no raffles, or we're not going to ask you for silly stuff or anything goofy, but we do have giveaways. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that. I haven't in a long time. We gave away a CSJ X3 drone courtesy of Lookalike not long ago, and we've given away quite a few other drones in the past from different vendors, and we'll be giving away some more here soon on for sure. So like I said, make sure you check out the Facebook group. I'll have that link in the description of the video, along with purchase links to all three of these from Banggood. So have a good day.